I'm here with Levan and Stevie. Levan, how are you feeling? You're coming off a huge win this morning against Hank and the Lions.
Feeling great, man. Oh, excuse me. Feeling great. Feeling great. Shout out to Lions for a great Madden 22 season or career, I should say. Um, I look forward to play them next Madden in the AFC. But hey, we're on to 49ers. We're ready. This is the perfect way to finish off the playoffs. Playoff run and in this Madden to see the get one more chance at for one more crack at 49ers. So I like it.
For sure, man. And we'll talk more about that game a little later. So here's the rundown for what we're covering today. So we're reacting to the NFC first round of the NFC wild card, or the NFC wild card round is over. We had all three games get played. Um, so we're going to talk about those games. We've got Levan's final QB rankings. We've got the MVP race is finishing up, so we want to talk about that a little bit. Final rookie rankings, and then we're going to pick the AFC side of the bracket, at least for the wild card round. And we've got our boy Stevie joining us.
What
His
up?
second time being on the podcast. The first time we had fucking terrible audio issues, so we had to trash that podcast. But Stevie,
Nothing.
welcome back to the All Madden Pod.
What up, boys? I'm glad to be back. It's exciting.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So let's start with that first game, the game that came through last night. Probably two of like the most successful. It was the matchup of the two most successful teams in the playoffs, at least in the first round. We had Alex, the reigning Super Bowl champion, against RK, six-time champion, two-time NFC conference champion, just in this Madden alone. So they went at it last night. And Levan, we watched this game together. Um, so let me set the stage a little bit. So game starts out. It was a great start for the Vikings. They jumped out, I believe it was 17-7
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of the first half. Then Alex gets the ball with like 30 seconds left in the first half. He manages to get 3 points, and then he got the ball to start the second half, and he ties at 17-17. When he tied it up at 17, did you think that it was over for RK after that?
I knew right there and then that he was in trouble. I was like, oh shit.
Mhm.
This is where Alex strives once he has you where he wants you. You know what I mean? Like once he scored that tying touchdown, I was like, the momentum was already all the way on Cowboys side, and I don't know what it is, man. Vikings were kind of like, I mean, we talked to RK before the playoffs. He said he was like his lack of his running game is gonna get exposed in playoffs. He was kind of expecting this, and I think that's exactly what happened. He was just kind of like, uh, Alex kind of set back and waited for the pass to come to him, and eventually he got exposed in that.
Played AFC football in the NFC playoffs, right? That's kind of what went down.
Yeah, and we talked to Alex earlier in the season, and we asked him, you've lost to RK before. What is your confidence level now? What that you're seeing what RK is doing with Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Smith racking up tons of yards, and what did Alex tell us? He said, I've been looking at some of the box scores, and Vikings are running less than 10 times a game. I feel like I can deal with that all day. So I mean, the Vikings had the Cowboys on the ropes. They were up, like I said, I think it was 14-7, and they took three. That was a point there. I thought that they had to kind of step on the Cowboys' throat and go up 21-7. And then in the second half, when it was too much passing with T Law, he just kept throwing interceptions, and it prevented him from getting back in the game. And it ended up being a 45-23 game. So,
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the second half, Cowboys outscored the Vikings 35-6. That was just like not even close.
Yeah.
damn. So it was 17-7. And then after that, he goes on a, 38-6 run.
Yep.
Just
And
crazy.
that's
And it
where
was all
like
the bread and
you
butter
kind of
stuff.
that's kind of where you need your run game too, right? You're up what 17-3 or 17-7 even. You need to pound the rock, get that clock moving because Alex is a team that he wants to run the ball more than not. And if you're chewing up the clock when you're on offense and he has to chew up the clock because he likes to play that style, that's just what you're going to have to do to get that boy out of there.
Yeah, and you said it. Cowboys do like running the ball, and they didn't have that many attempts. I mean, Kamara had 11 rushing attempts and 134 yards, so he was just getting chunks on every single down on most of the run plays. 12.12 average per carry. So you can't let that happen. And then you also have Mac Jones, obviously 6 rushing attempts. That's like the classic Alex clutch third and 8 first down pickup with Mac Jones with his legs.
So let me ask you guys this. The Cowboys were definitely sputtering down the stretch, right? I think they were like 500 in their last 6 games, maybe 8 games even. They had the driver's seat for the 1 seed and they blew it. Does this win against RK kind of alleviate any concerns that you had about the Cowboys? Do you think that the old Alex is back and he's ready to make another run at a Super Bowl, or do you still kind of have those hesitations that you might have had, a few days ago?
I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better about the Cowboys. Not gonna like coming into the playoffs on a 4-game losing streak, I believe. I was a little nervous for Alex. I was like, dang, something's not right. He's off on something. And he didn't even have crazy, matchups at the end. He was losing some of the uh weaker opponents. So I was getting nervous for him, but this is a huge win. Obviously, this is where we bite back into Cowboys all over again.
And who will his matchup be next round? Because you guys are all set in the NFC side, right?
Saints. Yeah, he's gonna play
Saints.
the Dallin and Saints, yeah.
I like that matchup
So-
for Alex personally.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rematch of the NFC Championship from last year. And so a little bit different going from Aaron Rodgers to Arch Manning Jr. But yeah, I don't know. I would love to see Dallin pull off the upset against Alex, but I'm kind of with you guys just in terms of we'll pick the games at a later point, but
Right.
that's just my initial feeling about that game. Damn. And I think another thing that RK talked about when he was on our pod was that just his defense was getting like kind of old. Like
Yeah.
some playmakers that maybe had abilities. Well, we know about all of his acrobats. They were kind of getting by on abilities. I think it just kind of time ran out on that defense.
Yeah. You see it happen all the time. I mean, once those guys start getting to the age where they're dropping a speed point or 2 speed points every year, and you're just hoping that they're close enough for an acrobat to activate, like you're really playing a dangerous game there.
I wonder how that's gonna affect next year, because I know we're talking about switching to competitive mode, right? Where this acrobats and computer CPU playmakers gonna be less effective. I wonder how the age and all that's gonna affect on the defensive players, especially acrobats in general, like zone hawks and those kind of like abilities.
It's an interesting
I don't
point.
know. You're right.
Because think about it, like when we did draft for this team, right? A lot of people loaded up on defense, and they were like, even RK, like Arceza was a 12-win team this year, barely slipped division, barely slipped out of his hands, and I mean, his defense was really old. I mean, I think he has like 79 overalls as acrobats, just because
Yeah.
they wear it. Yeah, exactly, right. So I wonder if that's gonna be a more of a liability than he was this year.
Yeah.
For this Madden.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna have a couple extra seasons, so I think they're in next Madden, right? We're thinking that we could go 6, 7 seasons, especially with the new advanced schedule that we've been working with. So I think guys that have abilities are just gonna hang around. I mean, you know how Madden always says that. Like Tom Brady is still in our league, Rodgers is still in our league. They just let old dudes hang around. They never lose the abilities. So we're gonna see like 72 overall guys running around and making crazy acrobatic plays because they just still have abilities. I could see it.
I signed Matt
Even
Stafford
with
this year. He's like a 69 overall superstar quarterback. Like those guys hang
Damn.
around. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's weird.
damn. Even so, okay. So even in the arcade, because I know right now we're playing competitive, I believe, right? On competitive mode.
Simulation.
No.
Simulation,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. So that's why some of these acrobat interceptions are so OP, because CPUs has a lot of input on it. So when we switch to competitive, I think that's gonna have a less impact on it.
You're gonna
All
have
right,
to be using those superstar and X Factor players, making them make those plays. You know what I mean? You're not
yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
the luck that guy is just a god over there on the right side, CPU style. You know,
Yeah, exactly. And how many people do we know that use their corners on
no,
defensive? Yeah, it doesn't
it's
usually
gonna come
happen.
down to timing. You know, like can you switch and hit your ball hawk
Yeah.
at the right time? And you can't just hold
Exactly.
it in competitive either. You know, in simulation you can get away with just like switching to a guy, holding Y the whole time you're running, and sometimes you still get a little lucky and get that animation. That's not gonna happen in competitive mode.
So true. And anytime somebody asked for like defensive advice, I was talking to somebody in the league saying like they were asking me, they said, I don't get that many turnovers. I don't get that many interceptions. Like, how do you get these interception numbers up? And I was like, even if it doesn't make an impact at first, get in the habit of as soon as the ball is thrown, switching onto the guy that's playing the ball in the air. You might fuck up like a bunch of times in the beginning, getting used to trying to make a play on the ball. But like as we move to competitive and just being on all Madden in general, the game is relying more on the user to make the interception. That's why the CPU drops picks all the time. Like that's intentional. So get in a habit of as soon as that ball is thrown, press B and then try to make a play on the ball.
Very true. Very true.
100%, man.
You guys are great at doing that. That's why your safeties are always racking up picks. I think of Terrell Edmonds. I think of Justin Reed, who had a big game this morning. Eddie Jackson. So you guys are that's
My
very
man
familiar
Conley,
stuff for you guys.
Appreciate
leader,
that. Thank
intercepted leader on the Cardinals, man. Don't forget my man.
Don't
You
forget
never
Levan's
forget
boy
that man.
Ducky.
Yeah.
The
Boy Ducky only
Jaquarius
plays on our
Con-
squad
Oh yeah,
too.
quack quack.
Quack quack.
I'm so sad that he didn't get to play for me. It's okay. We're
God's
enjoying life.
savage. God's savage.
All right. Speaking of crazy acrobats, I didn't get a chance to watch. Well, are you guys good on Cowboys Vikings? I'm good on that game.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the other game that was late last night, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I rewatched it this morning, was Saints hosting the Giants. Dallin against Caleb. A very interesting matchup. And the reason I say that acrobats kind of make me think of this game is because right out of the gate, a guy that we love on this podcast, Jeremy Chin, made an insane diving interception. And after that, it was like the Saints routed the Giants in the first half. They went up like 35-7. The Giants, Caleb, he cut it to 10 a couple times, once in the third, once in the fourth, and then he ended up throwing a pick. So Dallin never really let it get to a one possession game. But did either of you guys get a chance to watch Saints Giants?
I did not get to watch it. I'm looking at it pulled up right now. So it looks like they went into the half at 38-21. And then it looks like Caleb kind of pulled back a little bit in the third and fourth, but then Dawn kind of stepped on it.
Yeah, that interception that Jeremy Chin had, the diving coming downhill, just fucking that interception reminds me of interception Justin Reed had. It was exact same kind of like pass
Oh, against the Falcons, right?
against the Falcons,
Posted
passing
on
it
TikTok like
flat,
5
and
times.
he just sprints down and just like dives straight and just picks it off. It's awesome.
Those are the most satisfying, right? When the guy's like 4 or
So
5 yards
satisfying.
behind the guy, but you know he's gonna get that dive right when it comes in. Even when you
It's
just get
so
the
good.
knockout, that is like, oh,
It's so good.
And you see their thing light up as they're diving. It's just like, oh, yeah,
Oh.
good things are about to happen for me.
such a good look.
All right, but
Yeah,
damn,
those
what
are
a game
nice.
for Arch Manning. What was his 12 for 17, 284 yards, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And you don't play down next. No, Alex plays down next. So, Alex, if you're listening to this, Dallin loves hitting those seam routes with Xavier Worthy. He's got, I think, a 98 speed receiver. Every time I fucking turn on a Saints game, he's just burning somebody deep. Like you guys gotta look for that slot seam route. And I know Alex is a big time cover 3 guy. Cover 3, the seams are exposed, so
And
he's got to get all over that.
and he uses 2 different ways. So he'll either snap the ball, identify that little gap in the seam, and then zips right in there for like 12, 15-yard gain, or he'll just wait. If he has a one-on-one matchup, he'll just wait till the guy burns like a slot corner and just passes over the top. So, and I saw both of them because I played Saints in week 18, and he had a touchdown on a seam route from the slot, just like that. Burned Justin Reed actually for a touchdown, and then next time I was playing off of him because I was like, okay, I got to give him a little space so he doesn't get burned, and then he just like zips right into it. Picks up easy first down.
That's where you really have to go ahead. Will, my bad.
No, I was just gonna say one of the things that Dallin's so good at is like he never premeditates a throw. Like I know I do it sometimes. I'm sure you guys do it too, where you look at the play art, you look how the defense is aligned. You're like, I'm hitting B on this play. Dallin never does that. He always can work to the second and third read, and then he'll throw it away. He's so patient. But sorry, Stevie, what were you saying?
I was just saying, like, if you know guys are going to expose things like that, that's when you got to really get creative with which guy on defense you're using and when you're using which guy. I picked that up from you, honestly, Will. Like you said, you like to primarily play and like coach suggestions and to give different looks on what guy you play as. When I played, I want to say it was Joke this year. I could be lying though. But I knew he wanted to hit me with one of those, or I knew my weak spot was going to be that nobody was going to get to that backside, deep third, deep quarter kind of spot. And I just played it all the way from the other safety. And I knew that's the only route I have to cover. That's all I can get beat with here. So that's when you really got to be funky. It might be a guy that you're not used to using, but you just got to go there if you know that that's where your weak spot is.
Yeah, that's such a great point.
And especially with a seam route, you can jump that with a safety, with a linebacker. You can come in with a corner. Like there are many ways to bait people that like that route.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things you can, I think one of the things that most of the elite defensive user people do, or are good at doing, is passing off somebody into the zones. So you cover somebody till he gets to a different player's zone, and you come back and pick up different route or something like that. So those, especially those seam routes, you can cover that first 10 to 15 yards with a linebacker, and then come off of it, come cover somebody on underneath route or something like that coming across, and kind of like pass off that deep route to a deep coverage guy. So, yeah, I keep seeing that. I know I see you do it all the time. I've seen Alex do the same thing. It's just so if you figure that out, if you know your zones without even actually like looking at it, you're gonna be so much better down the road.
You got to trust your play call, right? That's what it comes down to. If you know what you're running, you just have to trust that you do your job, which is hard to do sometimes. I know I'm fall victim to that a lot. Don't trust the guy on the outside, follow too long, get beat over the middle. It's a game you just got to play.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was a great season for Caleb and the Giants, getting the 5 seed, being the top wildcard team in a really tough NFC. We talked about them earlier in the season as a candidate to potentially fall off and fall out of the playoffs, right? We talked about him and Scott as guys who had really hot starts that might cool off, but he kind of saw it through to the end, ended up 13-4, I think, or 12-5, a great record. So shout out to Caleb. Let's say your confidence in Dallin before this game was a 5 out of 10. Okay, going into the playoffs, what would it, if it was that? What would it be at now after a 17-point win against the Giants?
7. It's definitely higher for me.
Yeah, I would definitely say it moves up. I'm not sure how much it moves up because I do see those two guys as I know Caleb has been, had a few rough seasons, but I see him at least as, an upper somewhere above the middle of the pack, you know what I mean? Especially with how he's been playing this year. So I'd say they're about neck and neck. So I'd say a 7 sounds right, Levan.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Again, Dallin's a really good player. I don't like his matchup against the Alex, against Alex. But here's the thing, man. Dallin ran the ball 22 times and he averaged like 7.4 yards per carry.
Like
If
180
he can
yards.
do that, and we all know Brees Hall's a fucking beast. He can really run down your throat if he wants to. 22 attempts is what you need against Alex. Smart football. I mean, 12 completions with Arch Manning. How many attempts did he have? Like less than 20, right?
Looks like
That
17.
Yeah, 17.
That's where you want to be at when it comes to playing Alex. You want to be a Russian team. You want to be balanced. I mean, if you're all running team, that's even better. You just don't want him to have you want to keep him off the field. His offense off the field, because we all know once Alex gets on there, he's gonna take nice 4-5 minute drives, and he's gonna make you he's gonna waste all the time, and he's gonna take your opportunities away as much as he can. So
Yeah, I mean, just look at that stat line. 284 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick, a 91-yard completion, and he took 1 sack. Like, what are you nitpicking there? You know,
Mhm.
that's a hell of a ball game.
Yeah,
So good.
exactly.
All right, and we got Dallin jumping into the chat. We just got done talking about Saints Giants. So we were talking about you and basically talking about our confidence level coming out of that game in the Saints. I feel like one thing about the Saints, and I could be wrong here, it's could be just like an anecdotal thing that I've noticed about him and from my experiences playing with Dallin. Like, if he gets a couple first downs on a drive, like if he gets one first down, if you don't get a 3 and out against him, it's going to be a long drive. He's going to take it all the way.
Mm.
Whereas there are other people that just like they take shot plays and it's like more variant. But like I always feel like when I'm playing against Dallin, like that first down that he gets on the drive is the hardest for him. But then once he gets that one, he's like rolling and he gets in momentum and he just keeps it going all the way down the field.
He's very good on script. Like once he gets in a rhythm and his script's going, like his first, second, third down plays, like he already knows first down, second and middle, and then third and short. He's so automatic on those. Like he has perfect play calls.
It's kind of just like when he is feeling himself, I guess is a good way to put it. Like he just knows exactly what his way to win is. You know what I mean? He knows who he is as a player. He knows what works for his team, and he's able to just build on that and stay true to who he is. You know, like you said, he's not just like bombing a random shot play just because he, is like, oh, I might as well just chuck one deep because this drive's going well. No, it's I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna run the ball with Brees. I'm gonna stay accurate, and if I can get you on a 91-yard seam route, see ya.
Don't you love when you get in that zone where you feel like you can just hit any throw and you kind of just sit back in your chair, right? And you're looking at the screen. It's like, wow, I can just see all the routes kind of developing and I kind of can feel where the defensive guys are going to go. And then other times you're just like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Do
So
you
I
think?
think
Do
yeah,
you
go ahead.
think that real life quarterbacks feel that similar feeling, like when they're having a crazy games and when they drop back and you're like, it's like slow motion for them and they like seeing all the wide receivers come open. They're like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm about to dice
Dude, I
these
think it's
fools
I
up.
think it's that way with playing quarterback, playing video games, playing chess, playing basketball. Like you get into a zone sometimes and you
Mhm.
feel like you can't miss. You feel like you can do no wrong. I feel like it happens in anything. Like
It's so
and
true.
I think Madden is no different. You kind of get in a rhythm, you get some confidence and everything just
Mhm.
opens up.
It's the flow state. Levan, you watch fighting. Like when you hear guys talk about that all the time. Once you get in the flow state, it's like you're not even in a fight anymore. It's like sparring, but everything is just going. This is happening. Now this is happening. You're here, you're there. It happens in anything, in any competitive aspect.
Absolutely.
Damn, and we got Dan coming in the chat saying that Dallin is his hot take to win it all. So they're going to be in the same division next Madden. So that'll be an interesting matchup between them. Do you give any hope to that take, Levan? Do you think that Dallin has a Super Bowl run in him?
Um, man, it's tough just because I think all the favorable matchups for him have been eliminated. I think he would have been matched up really good against RK. He would
I
have
think
been
you would
matched
say
up.
that 49ers is a favorable matchup.
He
Oh,
would
that's
definitely say that.
true. Totally forgot about that. This is very true. But he don't play you. I mean, he might
If he
see
beats
what
Alex,
NFC Championship. Yeah, he needs to get through. He needs to get through Alex first for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, it's
hey,
fun to, talk down on Dolan, throw shots. But I mean, look, his roster is, as competent as anybody else's. He
so
has the
good.
running
Yeah.
back, he has a quarterback that can win, he has weapons, and he has a defense that can just make you shit your pants at any moment.
Then what is it? What does it feel like for you to have somebody in the playoffs and you're like, oh, I know I own that guy.
You're asking me because I'm playing
Like,
you?
yeah, I'm asking you because I'm not that I'm thinking. I've never played anybody in the playoffs that I'm like, damn, I know I'm gonna get this guy. Have
Did,
literally never. My
did,
matchups in playoffs have been Cowboys, Lions, 49ers, Lions. I think that's 4 seasons. That
I don't know, but
oh, and then
you're putting bad ideas in my head right now. I had this exact thought about my first round matchup with Dan, and then he fucking smoked me down the field with Tyreek Hill whenever he wanted. So playoffs is a fucking different animal, and that's why I was talking to you before we went live, right? We had 3 games, and the 3 outcomes I wanted None of them happened. I wanted RK to win because I have success against RK. I have success against Hank too. I wanted him to win, and then, I mean, competitively, but and then obviously I wanted Dallin taken out by Caleb because Dallin's 3-1 against me. So I don't know. I don't feel good about like our matchup because I'm 11-0 against you. I mean, I feel fine, but I know that you can beat me.
The funny thing is, regardless, I mean, even if you beat me, you're gonna go NFC Championship. You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to play against the team that you don't want to play against.
I would say the last time I felt like that in a playoff game, I got smoked. So it was not good. It's not a good feeling to have. You should never feel too confident in anything, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs is crazy.
I
Anything
know.
more?
I don't think I'm in any danger of feeling that way now because I've had this mindset a little bit now, but it's just like you're sitting down and it's going to be your last time using this team that we've been using for the last year. Like you'll never play a game with them again. So there's no more trap games. You're not getting a freebie on me, Levan. You're gonna have to work for this win.
Oh, now you don't want to give me a freebie? I gave you 11, bro.
Has Levan just been sandbagging this whole time, like just shitting the bed against you, and he's gonna come out with a completely different game plan and wipe the floor with you? What happens there?
Imagine how good that would be.
Yeah, well, he just smoked me in head to head last night. We played, and I used the Ravens. I gave him a little practice run before the
Lamar.
Lamar
Scout team.
game this morning. Yeah, I was scout team, and he fucking had me in a box, dude.
You don't know.
You know what's funny, Stevie? I'm like, in last 6 games or last 5 games, I'm 5-0 head to head, and I can't fucking get a 1 win in this fucking.
It was the
game.
same way for me, bro. I have lost to Will one time in head to head that was not in league, and Will has smoked me every fucking time we played. The Super Bowl was the closest it ever got. Every
Yeah,
other
maybe
time
I'm
I was just like,
sandbagging you guys in head to head.
maybe that
Yeah.
could be it.
You're
Yeah, I
playing a
think so
nerf
too.
version of me in head to head. Yeah, you get the real thing in the league.
I think it's just your mindset in the league. When we play head to head, you try to get us on some little fake extra points and shit. I mean, you do that to Levan all the time anyway, even in a regular game. But
I know.
I mean,
I'm
you
gonna
just
get
be
him
fucking
again. He's
around.
gonna forget. He's
And
gonna
then we get
forget
to the
again.
league
I'm
and you're
gonna get
like
him.
sitting up in the
That's like
chair,
on League too.
you're ready, cheering on the boys, asking your CPU players what they're doing, You definitely sandbag us in head to head. That's definitely
Yeah,
what it is.
we legit came up with that fake 2-point in a duo tourney too, and then
And
it,
you
it
shit
was
on you
our
with it ever
move.
since.
Yeah, and then I fall for it every time now. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else on the game from last night, Saints Giants?
Nah,
Good
just
win
quick shout
down.
out to
Great
the
season,
homie
Caleb.
the homie Caleb, my new division fucking rival. Great season, man.
Tell us what your division is again next, Madden. I love your division.
We are the NFC South, and it is me, Caleb, Jason, and Brennan. So we're gonna have some
love
fucking
that.
fun. Love it too, man. We're gonna have some fun.
Damn, that has a potential to be that has a potential to be a best division in NFC.
Yeah, I think it could be for
'Cause
sure.
I think Jason's very underrated, man. I think Jason's a really good user.
People definitely sleep on Jason. I don't know why. Did people forget like he was like either the number 1 or 2 seed in the first season? Dude
He
had like
was
a
number
12K yard receiver. Like
he was the number 1 seed in the first season with Tom Brady.
I played him in the playoffs that year. I was shitting bricks before that game, bro. I'd never played him before. I'm like, this guy's unstoppable. Like Marquise Brown just goes deep and Tom Brady gets it there.
Damn, no respect to Jason and the
Pat on my
Ravens.
own back, I won that game, but Jason's
I'm not
tough,
giving him a
man.
lot of love because he's definitely gone down in my book this season. I mean, the Browns were on autopilot the second half of the year. The Steelers got the 3 seed. You telling me Jason couldn't have snatched that 3 seed or at least the 7 seed?
Yeah,
He could. He
Steelers
did
have
a lot of
Kyler
weird
Murray.
things with that. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Lamar.
Steelers have Kyler Murray, and the Ravens have Joe Burrow, who's probably the worst Madden quarterback.
Ravens did a lot of weird things to their roster, right
He,
there. Like
they
at
also,
least quarterback wise.
yeah,
Tom
they
Brady's
also
still
traded
kicking
me.
around. You could have held him on to him forever.
They traded me Devontae Adams for Max Duggan 2 seasons ago.
This is the shit I'm talking about. Maybe he's a great player, but a horrible GM. Like, who knows?
Yeah, damn. He he had fucking Hollywood Brown, an icon on the Ravens. He had Devontae Adams. He would have brought in L.J. Johnson. Like, he didn't even end up using Duggan. So, okay. Riley's coming in the chat and saying Jason was on CPU for like 5 weeks too. All right. So then I'm not going to, put a ton of stock into him for next Madden either. I won't. So I feel validated. All right.
I hope you
Last
don't. You
game.
might lose it.
Last game of the NFC wildcard round was none other than our boy Levan and the Cardinals taking out probably one of your other nemesis, the Lions. How did you feel to get that monkey off your back, bro? 44-8, great win.
Monkey, that was a gorilla off my back, bro. This first time I've beaten the Lions. They bounced me once in the playoffs before in a divisional round, but after I beat Alex too, it was the worst. Somehow I have the worst matchups in my playoff runs. But
hold on. So he gets the ball first. He goes down the field, scores a touchdown, gets the 2-point conversion, laughs in your face. What are you thinking at that moment?
Honestly, man, I was very confident in this game. I've said many times this is the best Cardinals team anybody has ever seen. So this is the only one true championship window. This is it for the Arizona Cardinals. So I felt great. I was like, it is what it is, man. 8 points. How many did they score after that?
Well, I think he scored those 8 points so easily. I think he got a little too cocky on offense and started to do a little bit too much on every play and got into some really bad sacks and was just running around like a wild man with Lamar. I know Riley said it in the Twitch chat during the game. He's trying to do way too much out there. He ended up getting a safety at one point. And at that point, it was like, okay, this game is over. He's got you figured out. Levan's got you figured out, Hank. You're done.
Yeah, my boys had their ears pinned. I think we had like 4 sacks or something like that. Maybe not 4 sacks, but we were definitely coming after him. He did not. I don't think there was one play where he was really like burning my linebackers. He had like one long run, I think, but everything else he was fighting for. So I like that. I like when on defense I can make it like a gritty, and make my opponent really earn their yards. So
That game just set such a high bar for my day. Like, I just had a dope day, all day, but I tuned in at lunchtime. I'm like, oh man, I saw that you were playing Hank. I'm like, oh, I don't want to turn this on and it be rough. Cause the only things I had saw in chat was people shitting on you for the 2-point conversion. I'm like, oh, what is this gonna be? And then click on, you're up like 21-8 or some shit. I'm like, oh, let's fucking go, bro. Made my day, bro. I was so happy to see that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate high speed, man. High speed Stevie. Always in my corner.
Big Russ supporters over here.
For real. Big Russ.
And there was like a 2-play sequence or a 3-play sequence that was really crazy in the first half that kind of helped you get some separation. I think it was a 3rd and inches. Lamar was scrambling to the right side of the field, and then Justin Reed made like an awesome tackle to bring it to 4th and inches. He ends up picking it up, but on the very next play, Lamar is looking for, I think, DeAndre Swift on like a Texas route. Justin Reed just crashes down, makes the interception, and then you went down and scored. I think you went up 17-8 at that point, making it a 9-point game. So he balled. Jaquarius Conley balled. He got an interception out of a QB spy position, right? He was just standing like a couple yards behind the line, just put his hands up, got a pick.
That dude has hops, man. He was a power forward back in his college days. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that dude got high. He was just watching him. Lamar Jackson just sitting in the pocket, and my man Conley just watching him, and then he throws a bullet over the middle and just gets up, plucks it out of the air. Kind of same interception, not as athletic, but same interception he had against Week 18 against Saints. When he's in against the offensive line, he's lined up against the offense center. And he like drops back as soon as the ball is snapped and just makes a backward leaping interception over the middle. That dude's, man, I'm so sad I'm not going to have him for next season. Dude's a fucking beast.
Dude is a savage.
So, I mean, at what point did you know that this game was over? Like, what was the dagger for you? I know you probably didn't feel super comfortable until very late in the game, but was there any point where you're like, all right, that's game?
Yeah, he was the. Hold on, let me pull it up. I believe he was third quarter, and he just got an interception on a goal line from me. Actually, it was that pick I was just saying, Jaquarius Conley interception, because he just got an interception from me. I threw it at the pylon,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, his safety picked me off, and I was like, it was like I think it was like 20 to 8 game at that point, and I was like, I'm letting him back in this game, and then literally the next play, Jaquarius got that pick, and I was like, okay, this is it.
Good shit.
And so much talk from earlier about like you got to switch on, you got to make the interception. You got a guy stand there as a QB spy, not even in a damn zone. He's regular dev, just fucking puts his hands up, makes the pick.
So good.
Sometimes the CPU is just on your side, but more often than not, I feel like you got to make that play for yourself. But
Oh yeah,
dope
most
win,
definitely.
bro.
Appreciate
Good
that.
shit, man. Keep it up.
And now you get to play me.
This is great.
pal
I'm telling
Will.
you, this is the best narrative I could ask for,
You could kill both of your fucking fathers back-to-back weeks.
dude. It'd be great. My stepdad is dead. My real dad's about to die next week. Looking good.
Oh my god.
Well, when I gave my Cardinals being the team of destiny speech earlier in the season, I clearly laid it out there. I said it's going to take you beating the 49ers, and that's going to be great for the narrative. Like you getting that win,
Sweet.
you get into the Super Bowl if you get past either Alex or Dallin if you do beat me, and then getting that last final number 5 Super Bowl so that it's, me, you, and Alex, the 3 newcomers, we all get our Super Bowl.
That would be great. Face the
Say-
Raiders in the Super Bowl.
The Raiders. That's actually funny because this is pretty much what I was going to ask you. Say you beat Will next week. Who do you want to see in the NFC Championship?
Easy.
I don't care. I'm good with
You don't
both.
care? I love it.
Okay.
Good shit.
No.
I love it.
I'm good. They're both really good players. They're both really good. Obviously, I just beat Saints.
Doesn't say don't lie.
Yeah, obviously, I just beat the Saints. I haven't played the Cowboys in a while, but I believe last time I played the Cowboys, I beat them too. So I'm good with either one.
Dude, if you asked me the same question, I would fucking 100% say Dallin, just because when I watched that game last night, the Cowboys-Vikings game, there was like a critical moment where RK needed to stop. Alex calls that play he always calls, the play action with the over route and whatever. And fucking RK had it covered up perfectly, and then he just scoots right up the field with Mac Jones. And I was like, I want nothing to do with that. I don't want to deal with that at all. So give me the Cardinals and give me the Saints, please. That'd be great.
There you go.
You might get that. You might literally get that.
There's a chance.
I would love it. All right. Anything else from your big game this morning?
No, man. We're feeling good. And ready for the next one. We're on to 49ers.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. So let's move on to the QB rankings. Final QB rankings of the season. Levan, who is taking the crown for the final season top QB in Levan's QB rankings? Who is it? Number 1.
Oh, this was
Derek
tough, man. There's so many good candidates, right? You got what?
Said Derek King.
Derek King. Hey, Derek
like-
King moving up. He's
Ow.
gonna come up. But no, seriously, there was a couple of really good candidates. You got Lamar Jackson having probably the best season of his Madden 22 career. Justin Fields is always gonna be a favorite. Spencer Rattler, I know he was a lot more kind of like ground concentrated this year. He had a lot of rushing touchdowns, a lot of rushing stats. Patrick Mahomes had a push, and then Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, and Russell Wilson also right up there. But I have a specific favorite, but I've been using same metric, kind of like to crown QB rankings.
Hold
and,
on. Before you say number 1, you just kind of listed all the guys that were in the hunt. All right. So
Yeah.
Stevie, as a guy in the AFC, as a guy just like as a fan of the league, who of that group has been like most relevant and kind of just like who won the season in terms of like narrative from a quarterback perspective? Leave alone Levan's rankings, but like who do you think like was the top dog this season from start to finish?
That's hard. I really want to go with Mahomes just because he's got the number 1 seed. He makes all those plays. It's hard for me to bet
Good choice.
against him, but I really just got to go with Russ because that's my guy. I mean, you're gonna
Oh,
ask me.
okay.
Russ started 0-5 with god awful touchdown interception ratios on the Texans. God awful. And then my boy went back to Arizona and just went on a tear. How am I gonna not pick my guy?
Let's go. Let's go. I love that pick, honestly.
That is a really
If
good
Russ
pick.
if Russ has a better end of the season, because he had a really bad game against the 49ers, who kind of like killed him. I think he had like 4 interceptions to 1 touchdown. But if that doesn't happen, man, he's probably competing for that number 1 spot. Unfortunately,
If he didn't have to play the 49ers 3 times this year, he probably would
I
have been
know.
all right.
Can you believe that Russell Wilson has never been the 49ers? It's fucking
Never.
bullshit.
Not once.
But
On any
it's
team
not-
he's played for.
yeah, it's all right. It's about to change. He's about to get his revenge. Hey, last score wins the game, right?
That's
do we
it.
do
That's it.
Okay, what about you, Will? Who would you choose?
In terms of guys that have kind of controlled the narrative of the season, I think it's been 3 guys all season. I think it's been Trevor Lawrence has put up crazy stats, tons of touchdowns, tons of interceptions. He's been near the top. Justin Fields, we all know about the controversy with Justin Fields, but also, and we knew about Riley's, mission to win the MVP with him. And then I think Spencer Rattler is the third. I think it's kind of been like a 3-horse best quarterback in the league race of those 3 guys all season. And then Justin Herbert kind of came in at the end with some huge games. Dan ran it up against the CPU, but
Huge.
I think it's those 3 guys. That would be my big 3 from this season.
That was a huge miss for me, man. My bad. I definitely didn't even mention Rattler. That's my boy too.
Yeah, that's
Well,
okay. That's all good, bro.
That's fine. But the funny thing is, you guys all missed out on actual number 1. So let me throw out some leaders specific stats. So the most touchdowns was Justin Herbert with 77 touchdowns, and T-Law right behind him with 75. Only 2 quarterbacks who surpassed 70 touchdowns passing. Trevor Lawrence also had 43 interceptions, which is like bottom 10 easily. Yeah, Justin
That's
Herbert
on 3
also
teams though, right? 3 teams that was split between
yeah.
2 teams, something like that.
I don't know when
I
he
thought he
was
started the
traded.
season with them.
Didn't he
That's what I
not
thought,
play
so.
for the Jaguars this season?
No, I
At
think he
all?
traded
So.
Chubb before the season. Yeah.
Oh, I'm lost.
Yeah, this was all arcade. I mean, even last 3 weeks or last 3 weeks he went 15 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. So he had a rough finish to the season. I gotta say, man, this is the first season since I've been doing these QB rankings since there has been only 1 quarterback that broke the Madden interception tracker. You know how it stops at 63. There's only 1 quarterback that broke that tracker. Only 1. Dak Prescott's the only one that has 79 interception. Everybody else stayed under 63. This is the first time.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well
Hey,
done.
seriously. Kudos to everybody, man. Everybody got better. That's what I like to see. All right. So the most interceptions, obviously, again, Dak Prescott with 79. Least interception, Lamar Jackson with 16 interceptions on the season. Next closest is 2 Justin Fields and Spencer Rattler tied with 18. So, you guys ready for number 1?
Now wait, before
Give
you
it-
say the number 1, we gave our picks. Who was your guy? If you weren't going by your ranking formula, who would you pick? Like, who was your guy?
But this is why he has his rankings. He's got to stand by his number 1 choice, I feel like.
Yeah,
He
Let's
just
not
said
do
that
it
he
out
had a
here.
different number 1 than what he
I
would
said-
do, though.
You're right, Stevie. I did say I feel like I would have felt better with somebody else just because this is just a metric I've been
So
measuring
broken.
quarterbacks the whole time. And the first thing I measure is touchdown interception ratio. Second thing is QB rating, right? QBR.
Mhm.
And the reason I do it is because it kind of like I don't have to, I don't watch all the games. QBR is pretty much, it tells you like how productive of a game that guy had without even watching a game. So
Right.
The best touchdown to interception ratio is Lamar Jackson with 3.4, and his QBR is 129.9, so almost 130. 70% completion percentage and 4,600 yards, 54 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That's the best quarterback by the metrics, the stats that I've been measured by. If I was to choose, I would have probably gone with either Spencer Rattler or Justin Fields. Spencer Rattler definitely had great season. I feel like if he turns some of those rushing touchdowns to passing touchdowns, he definitely takes his quarterback rankings. 48 touchdowns, 18 interceptions with 133.9 passer rating. I think that just speaks volumes of how productive he was. That means his shots were um, always either first down. I think that's how it's measured. I think if your passes are completed for first downs or completed for higher yardage rather than just getting your completion percentage up by checkdowns and stuff like that. So that's the highest QBR on special ladder, 133.9. So almost 134, 71 completion percentage and 5,300 passing yards. That would have been my number one. Again, he dropped because he had a couple of bad, not couple, but he had a one bad game. 3 weeks ago, I think, in a loss. Who
Yeah,
did he
against the
lose to?
Falcons.
Against the Falcons. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions against them. Against them, I think that's the first game he had where he never mind. He also had 0 touchdowns and 1 interception against the Cardinals. Other than that, ooh,
So Lamar is number one on the QB rankings, but if you had to choose a number one, it would be Rattler or Fields.
yeah, it's between those two.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I was rooting for Patrick Mahomes a lot, but then he kind of he threw a couple. He had a couple of high interception games in the middle. He had 4 interception game, 3 interception game, um, earlier in the season, and kind of 5 interception game. He dug himself in a
So
hole.
hold on. So Lamar had 15 interceptions all season.
16.
16. Okay, he basically had a third of that today. He had 5 interceptions today. How did
One
how did he
touchdown.
go all season with only 16 interceptions? That's crazy. You would think that a couple games like this would be sprinkled in and inflate those numbers a little bit. That's crazy. You're
Yeah.
just that locked in, bro.
A
Excuse
little
me.
bit of that might be just like the winner go home mentality there, but I definitely see what you're saying.
Got desperate
It's
at the end,
crazy.
threw a
Yeah.
couple extra picks. Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing the cleanest ball, man. 70% completion percentage, right? There's less than I think 10 quarterbacks who threw 70 or higher. Um, and then 16 interceptions to 54 touchdowns. I mean, that's as good, especially with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. When you thinking there's a lot of threat on what do you say? Yo, not just the CPU game. Put some respect on Justice's names. Scandalous. Have you seen my man's stats? We've seen your man's stats, bro.
We listed his
Right.
stats. We just threw a dig
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, we gave you a shout out. 77 touchdowns, 35 interceptions.
Should be like 60 some, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, I know.
Love Dan commenting in the chat. Yeah, Rattler and Fields have been dope this year. They are definitely the two. And Herbert, yeah, he had the 10 touchdown game, but he had 77 total touchdowns. So even if you
Yeah.
wipe that game off the board, he still got 67. So he still had an awesome year.
Yeah, he did. And one more shout out to Justin Herbert is he was tied for the number one spot for highest completion percentage at 74.
Nice.
So completing a lot
Dan's
of
gonna look back on this season for a while. I feel like he had Herbert, he had Tyreek Hill, had a really solid team, and then he had a couple games where he kind of just let the game slip away from him for not great reasons. So this really could have been a different season for Dan. It could have been an MV season for Herbert, a playoff appearance. We just saw RK and Hank get knocked out. He could have represented the North a little bit better than them. It's a shame.
I mean, this season's gonna be forever known as the finger spaz season for Dan, fumbling the ball.
Yeah, sorry, Dan.
I mean, you turn those two
Figure your
games.
celebrations out.
Yeah, he flipped those 2 games and he wins those games. He's probably fighting for that wild card spot, if not even taking the division.
100%.
I still can't get over looking at this, bro. It's driving me nuts. I can't believe he threw less than 1 interception a game all season and
I
threw
know.
5. That's insane.
Yeah, and Riley coming in bringing a good point. Fields also had 1 fewer game this year because he was, I believe, he had the hurt scenario where
Oh,
Bryce
yeah.
Young had to start for him. Yep.
So
Also, don't
that's
forget
actually
he's a scandal.
he is a scandal-ridden quarterback. We all know that now. So let's take that right into 'cause Fields didn't get the QB rankings top spot, but right now he is sitting in the number 1 spot on the MVP rankings. I know
Mhm.
Logan was really paying close attention to the MVP rankings since he's been doing crazy things with Bijan Robinson. So I'm looking at the MVP race right now, okay? And I know the regular season's over, but this is still up and it's not like decided yet or taken away, whatever. So number 1 right now is Fields. Number 2, Bijan Robinson. Number 3, Herbert. Number 4, Rattler. And number 5, Mahomes. Then we got Trevor Lawrence, LJ Johnson, Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, and Russell Wilson at 10. Is there any way that Fields doesn't end up as the MVP? Like, do you guys know how this works? Is there any chance that it could be Bijan? It could be Herbert? Do you guys know?
I can't say with 100% guarantee, but I'm almost positive that these will be the final standings. I'm pretty sure. I can't confirm that though.
I think so too. I don't think. I mean, obviously, playoffs don't affect it, and in real life, they vote into the playoffs, right? Or they vote before the playoffs,
I think it's like the week after the season, so it would technically be wild card week.
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think Fields has it locked up. And again, second least interceptions, 53 touchdowns, and
So, better question then. Do you
yeah,
think that Fields deserves this MVP? Do you think that he should be the guy?
this is where I was going with that. I was gonna say if Bengals figure out how to get in the playoffs, I think Bijan gets that MVP 100%. I mean, we're
That's
talking
exactly
about the running back who single-handedly carried that team without quarterback completing a single pass, or maybe like less than 5 passes within like what 10, 11 game stretch, and he went what like 7-4.
Mm-hmm. I think
So
7-3. Yeah, in 10-game
yeah,
stretch.
that's as valuable of a player as he can get on your roster, taking all that load off your shitty quarterback. So that would have been my pick, but again, Bengals didn't make it, so now we're left with Justin Fields, and I'm not saying I'm disappointed in that. I think Justin Fields had a really good season. He's always up there in every MVP race.
I completely agree with what you just said. If the Bengals snuck into the playoffs, then Bijan probably would have got it.
I think that's fair. And you talked about the workload for Bijan, 409 carries. Just ridiculous. And Fields doing it with 1 less game. Are the Dolphins kind of turning into the team of destiny right now? I mean, I know Riley's got to have a chip on his shoulder just based on how everything went down, right? So we did the ability rule break happened. It was announced that Fields is going to get stripped of his X factor, get lowered from a 99 to a 75. Commissioners showed some mercy. They pulled him back up to a 95, but the dev ability's still gone. If anybody has a chip on their shoulder in an AFC that's wide open, I think it's Riley. I mean, we'll talk about the AFC games later, but this could be a magical season for Fields and the Dolphins.
He could be. He could be. And the ultimate test for Justin Fields without abilities too.
Yeah.
All right, hey, before we
Might
move
be.
on, what you call it? Dallin's asking about QB rankings. So let me go through top 10 real fast.
Okay.
So number 1, Lamar Jackson. Number 2, Justin Fields. Number 3, Spencer Rattler. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes. Number 5, Russell Wilson. Those are your top 5 quarterbacks for the season. Just outside looking in, Justin Herbert. Number 6, Josh Allen. Finally, like getting some traction at the end of the season, climbing their way up in the top 10 at number 7. Trevor Lawrence, little slight drop from 6 to 8 at number 8, and Kyler Murray, another disappointing quarterback in the early season that finally found their way up to top 10 at number 9. and then Joe Burrow number 10. Arch Manning is all the way down to number 13 for Dallin.
Ouch.
Quinn Ewers, another very, very impressive quarterback. High volume touchdowns, also high volume interceptions. Third most passing yards. Let's see. Trey Lance was having a really, really, really good season, and then he fell off a little bit towards the end. Well, he was having a bad season, and then he got turned around when he went to Buffalo, and then he kind of like finished a little struggling, limping off across the field, across the finish line. Derek King went from 25th spot to 18th spot with 16 touchdowns and 20 interceptions.
Savage.
Not bad at all for our King. Let's see. Last person is Dak Prescott behind Jay Garcia, who had 9 touchdowns, 25 interceptions, and barely 1,000 yards passing.
Mistake-free football.
Yeah, exactly. You can't make mistakes if you don't pass.
True that.
Yeah.
And Dallin raising a good point too. He said, "I do know one time I won MVP with Saquon over Tariq, even though Saquon was number 2. So there's still a chance that Fields could lose the award."
Ooh,
That's huge.
that would be. You know what? It would be so cool to see Bijan win, but I just can't justify it because they didn't get in the playoffs.
The real question is, when are we going to start doing our own voting on these awards? Because we know Madden is obviously broken, but when are we going to start doing the All Madden boys giving us the real award winners of the year?
We do need to start doing that.
I don't trust the voters. I feel
It's
like
you
people.
too.
No.
Just like our MVP. who we
Yeah,
think?
like you guys. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
QB rankings.
I thought you said all 32
our
teams.
rankings. No.
All right, so our MVP for the
32
pod,
stuff.
I would say, is Justin Fields. I think we both agree on that. If Bijan won one more game, got into the playoffs, it would have been crazy. I mean, going full run is something we've never seen before, but putting up nearly 3,000 yards, we've seen it done. So, like, Jonathan Taylor had 400 more yards than Bijan had this season. So it's not like he was breaking any crazy records. So I think making the switch to all running and making the playoffs, Levan, you laid it out so perfectly, would have justified the MVP. But I think if we're going to give the All Madden podcast MVP stamp, I think we got to give it to Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think so. And then Riley coming in, 17 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards rushing too for Justin Fields on the ground. I mean, that obviously helps you in MVP race. Yeah, it's a lot.
Damn, yeah, that's exactly what Rattler had. Over 900 yards and 17 touchdowns on the ground.
Ooh.
That's a lot of rushing touchdowns.
What's up, Riley? What's up, bro? without Escape Artist.
Yeah, and then
but one less game.
Yeah, he threw 9 more touchdowns than Rattler, though.
Okay, thanks.
Same interception. Yeah.
All right, cool. Can I give my final rookie rankings before we pick the AFC games?
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so no huge surprises here on the rookie rankings. Number 1, this guy's had an incredible season, and this franchise is a fucking rookie factory. So number 1 is Crowd of Dicks, Dekel Crowdus, wide receiver for the Titans. 98 catches, 2,500 yards, and 24 touchdowns. Dude was incredible. All right, number 2 with 198 catches, so 100 more catches than Dekel Crowdus had. It's the boy Victor Fuentes. 2 catches away from 200, I'm sorry. And while we're here, let's give a shout out to one of our favorite listeners, Mrs. Jessica Para.
What up?
Shout out to Jessica.
Shout out Jessica.
Mrs. Keanu Reeves, one of our favorite
Mrs.
listeners.
Reeves.
Shout out to you.
Mrs. Keanu Reeves, yes.
Thanks for letting Brenda do the podcast with us.
I heard she's a big fan.
We hope your husband makes it back safe from Afghanistan.
Yeah, we need him back in the States ASAP.
Seriously. I wish my wife listened to our pods. Just kidding. Maybe not.
Yeah, would you want her to listen?
I don't know. Actually, funny story. Last pod when we were recording, I was in my in-laws' I was in my father-in-law's office. That's when I had my booth set up because and my wife goes upstairs and turns on the stream for everybody, and my wife's aunt, her boyfriend, her nieces, her sister, and her dad are all upstairs. And she pulled up. They're like very like kind of like religious, and first thing Will comes up, starts cussing about something, and my wife is like, I turned it off immediately. I was like, why the fuck would you turn it off for them? It was hilarious. I was super embarrassed because I came up and everybody's looking at me, laughing at me, and I was like, what happened? And they're like, oh yeah, we were watching your stream, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not ready for this kind of fame, guys.
You had a lot of mishaps like that, or quite a few. Wasn't you at your mom's house and you were raging hard as hell on Call of Duty, and she walked in like, "Are you okay?"
Was that? Did that happen?
Wasn't that at your mom's house? Am I
No.
imagining that?
I think so.
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask Adam. Adam was there. You were just like, "F." Somebody walked in. Are you okay?
Nothing
Definitely,
better than
that's not
raging
like
over
me.
Call of Duty at your mom's house and her getting pissed at you. That's nostalgia in a nutshell.
Yeah. Shut up,
Jesus.
mom.
On the phone.
Oh yeah, just kidding. Love you, mom.
Damn, I got Dallin coming in the chat saying Arch got to at least be an honorable mention. I'm sorry, 13th in the QB rankings isn't going to get you in the top 5 on the rookie rankings. I'm sorry.
Oh, denied.
Shots
No,
fired.
yeah, no Arch Manning on the top 5. I'm sorry, Dallin. He did not make the cut.
Arch Manning, 46 touchdowns, 32 interceptions. I gotta say this. You know what? I'm gonna give Dallin his props. I've been very critical for all the Saints quarterbacks, pretty much all of the seasons I've been doing quarterback rankings for, because they always have sub 60 completion percentage. And I've always been super critical of it. This year, Arch Manning, 61% completion percentage. So, good job, man. You're on a come up.
Yeah, very good. And he's asking how many rookie QBs are getting to the divisional round? Not many, but also not many rookie QBs are as cracked out as Arch Manning was coming into the league. Wasn't he like an 86 overall as a rookie? Like, yeah, I mean, Spencer Rattler didn't win a playoff game as a rookie, but I think he was like 74 regular dev overall at the time, you know?
Yeah, definitely the best rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Who was the?
Yeah, wasn't he like
Ewers was a beast too.
I guess Cowboys. Cowboys had a rookie quarterback in the playoffs.
Mac Jones.
Oh, Mac Jones. I'm like, who? He only had one quarterback. Forgot Mac was like a real rookie when we started.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, so a little fact check. Arch Manning is actually only a superstar, but he was an 87 overall superstar to start, so that's still kind of nuts. And he had like a temporary boost for half the season where he was like 95 overall.
I know, dude. He was
I
definitely
remember he's like
every time
90
I
week
looked at him,
one
he
at
was over
least.
90.
This is what Dallin does. He always comes in so hard, and he's just like, as soon as people start arguing back, he's like, oh chill. It's like, dude,
Well,
you came in here, bro.
Yeah, this is
Our
our house.
Yeah.
Mac
So what happened to the Cowboys
right
today?
now against the Broncos stout defense. So shout out to Broncos.
Yeah, I can't wait for that podcast, for the
Oh
DMVR
my God.
podcast to hear about
So
that.
hyped for
It'll be
that.
awesome. You're from RK, Zach, the Sprinkler. It's gonna be awesome.
Yo, that was like the most accurate shit I ever heard somebody comment.
I know, that was hilarious, dude.
You know what's fun? I never even realized that laugh till somebody mentioned it to me.
I call it the T laugh. It sounds like he just says mad T's. T T T T T T T T.
It's hilarious. That's what I hear.
Wait, so and Zach's nickname was Diva, given by that commenter. What was RK's nickname? Do you remember?
Oh,
I forget.
no, what
Yeah,
was
somebody
it?
let us know in the comment. It was like a commenter on the pod from like yesterday or 2 days ago, and they said that Hank was the sprinkler because that's what his laugh sounded like. It sounded like a sprinkler head. That shit was so fucking funny, dude.
They're trying to give him
The
like
pod's been
Top
cracking me up.
Gun-esque nicknames or some
Oh,
shit.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I forget what RK's was.
Dang.
I keep coming back to him calling himself RK Penner because of his notepad. That's the only thing I keep coming back to, but I know that wasn't it.
I know. RK tweeted today. He's like, I got my pad, Bolin, and my Greg Penner. Like in a picture of his pad and pen. That was pretty good. I
Not gonna
enjoyed it.
lie,
I
I
get,
fell
yeah, that's good.
asleep because I was reading. I was like, Pat Bowen. I was like, it's Pat. What is he talking? What's Pat? And then, and then I started looking at the picture, and I was like, oh, he's talking about. Okay, I get it. Took me a minute.
Damn, dude. Well, glad you finally got it. All right. So
There goes Dallin
number
back to humble himself. Oh, it's okay. Arch will be sitting on his couch next week. He does this
yeah,
all the
exactly.
time. He gets so offended, and then as soon as we give him little props, he's back to playing the victim.
He loves
Yeah.
to do that, bro. He loves to tell you you're gonna beat him
Yeah,
every time. Everybody he plays, it doesn't matter who he plays. He plays 0-win team. Oh, you're gonna crush me. Don't worry about it.
I
Hey,
know.
Dallin, were you Mikeless against the Giants, or did you get that figured out? He was. He was Mikeless.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna say Mikeless. He was Mikeless against me.
Same here. Let us know in the comments down if you have a mic. Would be interested to know. All right, number 3 rookie, friend of the podcast, big fan of this guy, Broleek Brown, awesome tight end for the Seahawks, incredible stats, like 1,800 yards, 114 catches, 8 touchdowns, total beast. Number 4, Anai White, outside linebacker for the Titans. All right, cool. And Dallin responded, he's getting a new mic soon. It's broken. All right, cool.
I know all about broken mics.
Yeah, that's just like Xbox mics. They just stop working one day. They just decide to be
Yeah.
done. They're retired. All right, and last rookie on the rookie rankings, number 5, is in first place right now for defensive rookie of the year on the NFC side, and it's safety Manny Favors of the Cardinals.
Manny.
Let's go.
So what's good about Manny Favors?
He just does not have a weakness. He's like, I think he has like almost 90 tackles on a season. He's like tackles for losses. He's always in the box. He's always in the coverage. He actually had a huge game against Lions this game too. But he's just like all over the field. I feel like he's always making that touchdown saving tackle. He's never getting juked out. He's just a fucking stud, man. I love him.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
a
he only had
beast.
4 interceptions on this season, but week 1 starter. He was like an 89 overall. Oh no, I don't think he was 89. I think he was like an 84 overall superstar coming out of the draft. So week 1 starter, never even doubted him. Put him back there, trusting him, and he hasn't failed me once.
Imagine if you were able to trade Favors for Reed and hold on to the other safety. Wasn't the other safety that you drafted a little bit better, like Emmanuel or whatever?
Yeah, Emmanuel Landry. He was 89 overall, and he was the X factor. And I'm not so sure. I think this is the trio of the safeties that I use. I think that's as good as he gets. Like I've been hearing from Brown's organization that Landry has been struggling in coverage a little bit.
So you
All
had
right.
3 rookie safeties this year?
I did, and they were
Duckworth
all
was
X
a
factor.
rookie too, right?
They were all X factor or superstar. I had
Yeah,
1
Ducky was
X
a star.
factor and 2 superstars. Yeah,
He finally, for me, got his like unlocked star the very last week. I'm like, this is
Oh, he
cool.
was just a
Out of
star.
the playoffs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's just a star.
He was high rated though. I think he was like 82 overall, just straight up.
Yeah, he was a savage. He was a great addition to the Texans defense.
Oh yeah,
6'2" safeties are fun, so there's that.
I know he's so tall.
Damn, and Joe Kim coming in with the comments. This was my one honorable mention, honestly. It was Domani Jackson because he got a pick 6 against me. I think he led all rookies in interceptions, so I had him up there as well, but just right outside the top 5. All right, so let's pick these AFC games, and let's get out of here. Actually, I have to get back to work, believe it or not. So we got
Lame.
3 games. I know. We got 3 games. We've got the 2 seed Dolphins taking on the Browns. We've got the 3 seed
CPU, right?
Steelers. Yes, taking on the Browns CPU. 3 seed Steelers taking on the Bills, and then 4 seed Raiders taking on the Colts. So let's start with Dolphins, Browns, CPU. Stevie, is there any chance that the CPU pulls this out and Riley fumbles the bag here?
Has Riley played without Fields? Is my one question. Or played with Fields with no abilities yet? Did he have a game
Yeah,
yet? Week 18 was.
one game against Edon, and he had 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, then there's no. He's winning this game. There's no chance for the CPU.
What's
If he's
harder,
already had a
Browns All
touchdown.
Madden CPU or Edon and the Patriots? I think Browns All Madden CPU is a harder
Yeah,
matchup.
Browns all man CPU is. It is.
So
But I
what?
mean, still, Riley is smart
Touchdowns
enough.
half.
Riley's a
5
smart
touchdowns.
enough player, and his roster is that good. You're not scared of the CPU when your roster is that good.
Here's the question. I know this is hypothetical. What if Browns do win here? What if Browns go all the way to the Super Bowl as a CPU? Is that allowed? What if they
Is that
win?
allowed? He says.
Yeah. What if Browns win the Super Bowl as a CPU? Does Brina get to put a championship emoji next to his name? Does
No,
that
I
count?
will make a
No.
petition that Brina is not allowed to claim that Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah,
So
definitely
what if
not.
And
so
even if
what
he
if
does put it in his name, none of us will respect it.
now? Here's the thing. You would have been fair to let Bengals or whoever was in that race for the 7th seed?
No.
No, they don't
No,
deserve it.
I don't. I think that it's still not a free win for Riley. Riley's still gonna have to beat the CPU, and then whoever plays the Browns, if the Browns continue to win, like if the AFC lets that happen, they let it happen. But if the Browns CPU wins the Super Bowl, nobody's gonna give Brian credit for it. It would just be like,
What a
but I mean,
waste of a season he would have been.
And
yeah,
just going
it
on
would
like
be.
the should you let somebody in? What do you miss? 5 games, something like that. 5, 6 total to like added up.
Yeah,
If
about
you
that.
missed 5 games all year to CPU, but you were there, nobody's saying, "Oh, you don't deserve this playoff spot. Your CPU, got you those whatever how many wins." Also, the division just like fell apart. Who are you gonna like? You're just gonna hand it to one of them? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan with a huge comment. He says NFC is just so far ahead of AFC. If AFC wins the bowl, I'll donate $50 to a charity of their choice. AFC, you
Dick
gotta
Rider.
yeah, shots aside at AFC.
Well, I mean, if the Titans make it to the Super Bowl, they're just as good as any team in the NFC. Like he went toe to toe with Alex last year in the Super Bowl, and RK talked about it last time he was on the pod. Like the top of the AFC can hang with the top of the NFC. It's just we've got more depth. Like
Yeah.
you know,
I'll
3,
definitely
4,
give you guys
and
that.
5.
Yes,
I mean,
100%.
look at straight up, but 1-1. You have 49ers and Titans in 1 seed, 2 seeds, Dolphins and Cowboys. Those are all good teams, right? 3 seed, Lions, Steelers. Now Steelers is probably a little more a surprise playoff, right?
That's
Not not
very
not so
diplomatic.
surprised. Yeah, not so surprised, but
Very
obviously not
PC of you.
that's the first time it's lopsided. We go for 4 seed, Raiders, Saints. Yeah, Raiders, Derbs into the AFC, just barely getting into. Um, hope Mike Trout's listening. Then you go to wild cards, 5 seeds, Adam and Caleb, both very good users. Bills and Cardinals, obviously, very good players, and then Browns and RK. So you're right. There's only like a couple of teams on the AFC side that does not belong. Not even I wouldn't say belong, but does not match up to the NFC sides of
This is a rough year too
level.
for that. Like to compare, this is a rough year. Like a lot of the AFC was down. You saw the AFC South really fall apart besides joke. Even the Colts were like 500 at one point during the season. I don't know what they finished as, but that
11.
whole division kind of fell apart at the bottom half. Then you had Brina, not playing. So they're like between me and Brina not really being 100% involved, I think that hurts. And then we have the AFC West. Like no hate on those guys. Like we have the AFC West, so it drags us down. You guys definitely do have the deeper, where I would say 1 through maybe 8 are anybody could take those playoff spots. But in the AFC, it's kind of like maybe it's 1 through 5, and then pick whoever you want. Maybe can get a surprise playoff spot.
Yeah,
Well, this
great.
is how when I look at this bracket, right? This is how I think about it. It's like I'm looking at the right side. I'm looking at the NFC, and I only see. I think about it like, could I see them winning a Super Bowl? Right? We did that exercise a
Mhm.
few pods back. Could you see them running the table? I think there's really only one team on the NFC side that you could really rule out, and that would be the Giants. Very hard to imagine Caleb, just based on his Madden 22 track record, to go on a run here and win the Super Bowl. I don't think any of us would put money on that happening. Look at the AFC side. I think there's a team in every matchup that just is not a Super Bowl contender whatsoever. The CPU Browns are not winning a Super Bowl. I know we just did that exercise. It's not happening. The Steelers, they're not winning the Super Bowl.
No, yeah.
And then the Raiders. The Raiders are probably not going to win the Super Bowl either.
No.
The Colts have never made it to a Super Bowl, but I think we'd give them a little bit more credit. Adam's been in the I see you getting distracted because should we address this Mike Trout comment?
Yeah, it's hilarious. He says, "I'm acting like a 10-year-old kid being mean just to hide the fact that he loves the Raiders." I did pick the Raiders. We gotta turn that organization around next season. That's
Somebody's got to
just
real
win, baby.
bad history.
But do you guys feel what I'm saying? Like, there's only like 3 teams really on the AFC side.
If you just look at it as like
in a wild card matchup. Sorry.
You just look at it like who are you scared of? You know, which teams are you like scared to face? And scared's probably a bad word for some people because they'd be like, "Oh, I'm never scared." But who gives you the sweats playing? You know, you look at the AFC side and you're
Mike
like,
Trout is scared of Colts.
there's two right now. Like, this is not even hating on anybody, so don't come at me. But there's 2 teams in the AFC that you're scared to play, and it's the Titans and it's the Dolphins right now. That's just how this year's bracket is. It hasn't always looked like that, but that's what it looks like right now.
I have a little more respect for Adam too. I think Adam's a top tier player on offense.
I think he can beat anybody, but I just think like the way his season went, you're not, you know, you've seen the path a few times. You know what I mean? You guys are always like looking down, dying, laughing at some shit, and I just don't have this info.
Wait, you can't see the chat?
No, I can't see it. No,
damn.
you guys put it up.
Mike Trout coming with a kill shot. He says, "Stevie, didn't you just get clapped
Didn't
by
you?
the Raiders?"
Didn't you just hit me up for advice on how to beat somebody?
Dude, he literally hit up everybody in the league. I swear to God.
I know. Dude, beat me the one time I had a 69 overall quarterback. Let's relax here, Bubs.
Oh, all right. We get Stevie fired up now. Let's go.
I heard apparently social workers.
I'll release the video of this boy's hand while playing me too. He sent me. It's all. Dude, I'm so stressed out right now.
And watch out, Mike Trout. He said, don't come at him. He has receipts. Social workers must have all day to be asking for advice for all 31 teams in the league.
Go help some people.
But all
right, let's get back. This motherfucker really came from me. I'm done with him. Mike Trout, don't hit me up.
All right, so back to our point. We have probably 3 favorites from AFC side that could make to the playoffs. When on the NFC side, we probably had at least 5, 6.
And you just said 3. Are we dead on the Bills?
No, I'm not dead on the Bills. So let's pick that game. The Steelers against the Bills in Pittsburgh. Is there any way that the Steelers steal this game? They got to be a home dog. If Vegas was setting lines on this game, they're definitely the underdog, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be a home dog for sure.
Like 4.5 dogs too.
I'd like to look at what Steelers end of the season record look like. I know they were winning some games at the end, but against what kind of competition? Let me pull that up real fast. This is good podcasting, by the way.
Oh, and it's funny because Stevie, you were saying like when you were talking about who are you scared to play, right? I feel like when I talk to people sometimes about Madden, they're like, "Oh, I'm never scared to play against anybody," or "I never feel pressure. It's just a video game." It's like, all right, dude. Like, you know exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, stop being a hardo.
Come on.
Like,
yeah. Come on, bro. You
sit
across. There and you're loading up Madden, and you're like, "Fuck, I am in for an hour of stress." Come on.
Yes. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. So
right, you got those recent games.
Yeah, looked up the whole schedule, and all I see is he has a win against the Dolphins in week 2, which is huge.
That was highly debated, like desync game. I remember.
There was not a desync. There's only one. It was only played once.
I think they desynced, and then it was a sim win for the Steelers.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, get your facts right.
Oh, I do remember now.
Yeah,
I do remember.
I'm the Mace of this podcast. I'm literally Mace.
It's a fucking
But less
computer over
hot.
here.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't disrespect nice like that.
Less of a fucking downer.
But after
Very
that,
nice.
looking at all the teams that he lost to, Rams, Bills, Ravens, Lions, Vikings, Packers, and Bears. And the last 4 wins he had was against Bengals, Ravens, Browns, and Browns. Browns, I bet both CPU. No, actually, one of them wasn't. One of them was a user, one of them was CPU. Week 18 was a CPU. So it's
This is
tough.
the game that's played on like Saturday at noon of Wild Card Weekend, and the Bills win 45-6, and you're just like, oh, I didn't even realize there was a playoff game that early. It's literally 9 a.m. on the West Coast. What's going on? It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, the NFL just gave it to CBS, and just it's super early game.
Yeah, I
And-
think
yeah.
Bills take this. Just Steelers just hasn't had they can't find that rhythm with Kyler Murray. They just can't figure it out. Doesn't seem like it.
I'm just
Not
looking
against
at the
like
roster right now,
defense.
like offensively. Who on this team is hurting the Bills? You know what I mean? Like,
Nobody.
Not
dude.
Kareem Hunt.
unless Kyler Murray goes crazy by himself, like the
Yeah,
Bills defense is just too good to lose this game. Unless Timmy just
Timmy
I-
would have to implode.
Yeah.
Timmy lost to me when I had a 69 overall quarterback too. Another guy that did that thing. So he could implode, but I just don't see it. Like, I
Shout
don't
out
know.
to King.
Shout out to King.
All right, so if those two first games go the way that we think they're going to go, with Riley winning against the Browns CPU and then Timmy winning against the Steelers, that would set up for Riley to play the winner of this next game that we pick, and then Timmy to play Joakim, the Sweden matchup in the playoffs, the rematch of the blowout from last year. Stevie, we called that game, right? Was that me?
Yeah,
and you?
we did.
Or no?
Oh, no. Me and you called the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think that was me and Brina that called that blowout game. That was crazy when Joakim just ran it up against Timmy. But I think
That
Timmy
game
would win this one.
I think Timmy. I don't know. I like you said. I just had that feeling when you said that. As soon as you said like they would play each other, and I'm like, ooh, he might come for blood in that one.
Who was Dong's quarterback last playoffs?
Timmy's like quarterback.
Malik
Lawrence?
Willis?
Willis.
He was Willis, huh? So yeah, he
Mhm.
obviously upgraded the quarterback with Trey Lance, X Factor finally.
He has a favorable record against Joakim lifetime. I think he's like 5-1 or something against
Yeah, I was just
Joakim.
gonna
But
say that.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll probably go with the history here and take the Bills if they go up against. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
yeah, we'll pick that one next pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
All
we're
right.
taking Bills over over Steelers. Unanimous, all three of us.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last game in Oakland, Raiders hosting the Colts.
Las Vegas, bro.
You're taking the Raiders?
No, you said Oakland.
Oh, I said Oakland. My bad.
No, I'm not taking Oakland. I mean Las Vegas. I'm taking Adam here. I think Adam's gonna run it up.
I'm taking Adam. I did just talk shit about Mike Trout, but I'm gonna give him a little bit of flowers here. I don't think he wins, but I think he can keep it close. I just played him recently. He's not a horrible player. He knows what he needs to do, and he does have some good talent on offense. So I do think he can keep it close. Anything could happen on Sunday too. So, but I'm picking Adam.
If we wanna post up Titans, I mean not Titans, Raiders confidence a little bit. Let me read you a stat real fast. Who you think has the most? 1 second. Who you think is in the top? Sorry, top 5 of takeaways in takeaways?
I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
Yeah, is it the Raiders, dude?
It is. I don't know how you guys got that. That's a crazy guess. But yeah. So they're fourth. They have the 4th most takeaways in the whole entire league at 59 takeaways. Now they also have 51 giveaways, which is not the best. But if they don't turn the ball over, you know they have 52 interceptions on the season, so they got some playmakers on the D.
They do.
And Tlyer White has been playing better.
Such a weird name. Every time I try to say it, I just stop. I'm like, I'm not even gonna try. It never comes out right. Tlyer.
It's Tlyer. It's supposed to be Tyler, but
It's like pliers, but
Yeah.
Tlyer. It's
Yeah,
just too
Tlyer.
hard.
Flyer
Just sounds
White.
like a lot of phlegm in your mouth.
Joking
think-
coming in. He said, "Give me the underdog." We didn't even. That was not our official pick, bro. We don't know. We gotta watch the wild card first. We're not picking division
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
didn't call you
Timmy's
the
got to get
underdog
through
either.
Pittsburgh first.
We didn't call him an
Mhm.
underdog.
So I'm gonna be, jeez, can't talk. You guys know I love this podcast, so I'm going to do something for the podcast, and I'm gonna take the Raiders here. We're not all gonna be aligned on every pick on the AFC
That's
side,
good,
so I'm
man.
rolling with Mike Trout and the Raiders. I think that he can maybe pull it off. I mean, he's got some impressive wins down the stretch, like you said. He beat you, Stevie. That's a great win. So maybe
He played tough.
Adam
He was
says he's
frustrating.
not. Adam said he's not that invested in the season that much anymore. He keeps saying stuff like that. So let's go, Mike Trouts. Let's steal a playoff win here.
It'd be cool. It'd be nice to see.
It would be.
Then we have to listen.
Yeah,
for
the
another
NFC
2
the
weeks.
NFC kind of did fuck you guys with these predictions. The AFC side was easier to pick. The NFC would have been at least some toss-ups.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it would have been great content talking about those games. Everybody blew their load super fast and had to play their game.
I know it sucks. Should we real quick? If you guys
You
had
made
to pick, what
Go ahead, man.
what would be your pick for the wild cards? Were they surprises or were you guys pretty set on?
I thought RK might pull off the upset against Alex. I had a feeling you were going to win, and then I knew Dallin was going to win.
I'm on the same page. I really thought RK had something because Alex has said before that RK has his number. I know he beat him. I think last 1 or 2 matches, but for some reason I had confidence that RK was going to win that one. And watching the first half, I was like, oh shit, yeah, RK is pulling away here, but they know Alex does Alex things.
I think if I were to have picked them, I might have picked the Giants. I probably would have picked the Giants, actually. I did like Caleb's season. But the other 2 games I would have picked them that way, but I just thought it would have been much different games. Didn't see them playing out that way. Like, I definitely would have picked you, Levan, but I thought it would have been a lot tighter and more stressful.
Mhm.
And I would have picked Alex, but I would have expected RK to stay in it longer than he did.
Yeah.
True. All right, cool. So we picked the AFC side of the bracket. We'll get together in podcast after this round finishes up, and then me and Levan, we got to play each other in the next round. It's going to be very exciting. Hopefully, you still have COVID by the time we advance, so I can get you less than 100%.
We're ready, man. Again, this is the best outcome. One more shot at the 49ers. Last
One more
winner,
chance.
matchup. Yep.
All right, boys. Well, Stevie, thank you for the guest appearance. I'm glad we were able to get through a pod with no audio issues, so it was a pleasure having you on, my boy.
Fuck yeah. Thanks for having me again, guys.
Of course,
All
bro.
right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening. Again, if you guys enjoy our pod, make sure you guys subscribe our YouTube, follow us on TikTok. If you guys have any questions, you guys know who to hit up. Me, Will, Brina. Hit us up with questions, any subjects you want us to discuss on the pod. If not, then don't let us know, I guess. But
and one last thing. That TikTok that I posted, like the All Madden League, right? The league with the wait list, everything. We got a basically better version of that coming out very soon. That's going to be hitting TikTok and going to be hitting the chat. Super excited about it. It's fucking crazy, dude. Let's just say Levan took it to the next level. So I'm super pumped for you guys to see that.
Yeah, we have a trailer dropping soon, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, thanks for listening, guys. Our active comment section, you guys are the goats. We appreciate that, and we'll see you next time.
Peace, boys.
Keep it up, boys.